Wake up, Mam Fam. We're rope dropping Disney World. Good morning, Mam Fam, and welcome back to the Rope Drop series, the show where I take you to the parks before they open to participate in the tried and true theme park tradition of rope dropping. Today we are at EPCOT, and things didn't quite go according to plan, so let's kick it back to past Molly to show you what happened. Captain's log, 7:38 a.m. I have just parked in the EPCOT parking lot, and we are headed in to go to early park admission. 7:42 a.m. My bag beeped at security, per usual. Got a lot of batteries in there, but this is my friendly reminder to you that if your bag does beep, be friendly to those security cast members. It's the most important line you're going to wait in all day. And I see too many people yell at security cast members as if it's their fault that you put a metal water bottle in your backpack and didn't take it out when they told you to. So let's remember to be nice to everyone, especially early in the morning. Good morning. Thank you. Captain's log 7:43. We are inside EPCOT, and it looks like there is a special line for early entry, which we are part of today. If you remember when I did this at Hollywood Studios, they just had everybody waiting outside the gate, and then once you got in, pending which direction you were going in the park, that's when they scanned your credentials. But EPCOT's doing it a little differently, which is why I say to pack those patient pants, because it could be a little bit different park per park. So you just want to be able to figure out where you're going and not get too stressed out. But yes, I am headed to the queue for early theme park entry, which is a perk of staying at a Walt Disney World resort hotel. Alan and I are doing our Tree Houses staycation right now. Now, as a pro tip, there are some non-Disney owned and operated hotels that are part of early theme park entry. Not only the Swan and Dolphin, as well as Shades of Green, but also there are a bunch of the kind of like good neighbor hotels near Disney Springs that can be a lot less expensive than staying in a Disney hotel. And they do clearly come with some of the perks, not all of them. You don't get to book your lightning lanes as early with those, and they don't have some other perks, but they do count for early theme park entry. So if you're looking to save some money, consider looking at one of those. And early theme park entry happens every day across all 4 theme parks, and it allows all of the guests at the participating hotels 30 minutes early access into the parks. But as you can see, people get here very early. It is 7:45 right now. Early park entry starts officially at 8:30. So my recommendation is to be here at least 30, if not 45 or so minutes before that early theme park entry to really take advantage of it. And speaking of your hotel, you are going to have to prove that you are staying at one of the participating hotels. You're going to tap, they're going to scan either your band or your phone or your card or your smartwatch or whatever you used to get into the park. They're going to scan it, and only people that are connected to that hotel stay qualify for early theme park entry. So make sure you have that ready to go. I also recommend having a screenshot of the section with your hotel in the app ready. That way, if it won't pull up for some reason, tech can be, sleepy too. That way they can see it real quick and get you on your way. Now, as we wait for them to start letting us in, let's talk about your EPCOT pre-arrival plan. So this is if you were going to be using Lightning Lane Multipass and Single Pass in EPCOT, what you should have booked prior to walking into the park. And if you want a more detailed breakdown on how to use Lightning Lane Multipass, we've got tons of different videos, including a recent 2025 Lightning Lane guide. I did a bunch of videos, one in each park when the system debuted last year, so you can check those out, and I do recommend it. Now, if you are purchasing Lightning Lane Multipass and using it at EPCOT and EPCOT only on this day, you're going to want to book whichever one's more important to you out of the tier 1s, Remy's Ratatouille Adventure or Frozen Ever After, or once it reopens later this year, Test Track. Those are going to be the most popular choices. I do not recommend booking Soarin' as your first tier 1 choice because it does not go away the way that Remy's and Frozen do. The best options in this park is very weird in that there's like 4 very, very popular attractions, and then the rest are kind of just pretty easy to ride without long lines, even without multipass. But I recommend Spaceship Earth and Mission Space, or pick one of those and then book something you do want to ride within the first hour the park's going to be open. We'll talk more about that later. Now, as far as your Lightning Lane Single Pass here, or as I call it, Fancy Ride, it's Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind, which until very recently either was virtual queue or Fancy Ride only. There was no standby line. Just a few weeks ago, they converted it to be a standby line or Lightning Lane. There is no more virtual queue. However, I still recommend purchasing the Lightning Lane if you would like to ride it twice, or if you do not want to rope drop it, which is what I'm guessing most of these people are doing. If you're okay spending the money on it and multipass, I would probably rope drop one of those other tier 1 attractions. So if you booked Frozen, rope drop Remy's. If you booked Remy's, rope drop Frozen. And then you've got Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind already booked because you bought the fancy ride. That said, I am going to rope drop it because they just went to a standby queue. So I can time the wait, show you what it's like in case you are unable to purchase a fancy ride, whether it's sold out by the time your booking window opened or you don't want to spend the money on it. So we're going to rope drop it and go from there. Also, a lot of people want to ride it twice, and you can't buy 2 fancy rides, so you might want to rope drop it in the morning and then have the fancy ride booked for a little bit later as well. So we're going to rope drop it, but just know another good strategy would be to rope drop the other tier 1. Captain's log 8:01 a.m. We have started moving forward into the park. I'm assuming, yes, confirmed with my eyeballs, this is where they're going to verify your resort credentials. And then I'm guessing they're going to stop us again at different points in the park based on whether you're going to Guardians, Frozen, or Remy. Hello, just one. Thank you. And you can have one person scan for the whole group as long as everyone's listed. I just watched it happen. And now, it's a mystery to us all. Where are we going? Captain's log update 8:05 a.m. In the park, there are people queuing for Guardians of the Galaxy. However, plans are changing because the cast members just announced that it has an extended delay right now. Thus, they're encouraging you to go to other rides for rope drop. I'm going to listen to them because I don't think they'd stand out there and tell everyone that if they were going to open soon. So I'm going to go with my second plan for rope drop, which is doing one of the other tier 1 attractions so I wouldn't have to worry about it. Honestly, if I was rope dropping and spending a full day at EPCOT, this is what I would do anyway. I personally would pay for Guardians, so I knew I had it and knew I didn't have to worry about that one long line throughout the day. And then I would rope drop Remy or Frozen so that I didn't have to worry about trying to get lightning lanes for both of those and could just have one already booked walking into the park and then do the other one first thing. So I'm going to head to Norway, go rope drop Frozen Ever After, and then once I'm done, we'll see if Guardians is back up. Otherwise, we'll go from there. And as predicted, they're holding everyone at another location. This is going to be the Frozen group. They're going to be doing something like this similarly before you can get to France. And they also had people stopped in the breezeway who are just hoping Guardians opens on time. Captain's log, 8:29, staring directly into the sun. The proverbial rope has been dropped. And we are headed towards Frozen Ever After. Honestly, rope drop at Walt Disney World should be a competitive sport because people take it very seriously. So I, like the cast members behind me, are going to remind you not to run. And that while, yes, you did get up early to ride your favorite ride, it's not that serious. There are people, like, dragging their children, like abandoning family members behind. Which I get it, you know. You got somebody slow. You got to cut the dead weight, but just, you know, you're still at Disney World to have fun. Go ahead. Captain's log, 8:31 a.m. I'm officially in the Frozen Ever After queue. It is moving and grooving. It's got a posted 15-minute wait. I think it's going to be pretty close to a walk-on because they're just walking. Everybody that just got in line is consistently getting on. I think we're going to be quick on this one. Frozen Ever After is a, as you can tell, very popular, family-friendly boat ride where you are going to sail through scenes featuring Anna, Elsa, Olaf, Sven, Kristoff, and more of your favorite characters from Frozen. It normally has anywhere from a 70 to 80 minute plus wait, so this is a very good one to book as your tier 1 lightning lane if you've got people that want to ride it. It also runs out of lightning lanes pretty quickly, or it's a good one to do this, because you get to go through the full queue, which does have a cute scene that the lightning lane cuts off, and that's going through Okansana, where you can see him, woohoo, and his family.
Come on, it's lightning lane. Elsa wants to give us all some fun. She's making everyone a snowy summer day. Today, Anna saved her sister with an unselfish act of true love. No rules for me. Finally do what Frozen things do in summer.
Frozen Ever After check. Took me 7 minutes to get on the ride. which is phenomenal. The line when I got off was already like out, wrapped almost to China, posted 45-minute wait, which not that long for that attraction, but clearly longer than I just waited. Remy's right now also has a posted 45-minute wait. Unfortunately, Guardians still down, hasn't opened yet, but Soarin' only has a 5-minute wait, which is where I'm headed next. My plan had, Rocket, or let's blame Star-Lord probably, not ruined it, was gonna be Guardians and then check the waits at either Soarin' or Frozen and do one of those next. So now I'm just shifting, which, is an important part of this. Visiting these parks, things happen, rides go down, weather, transportation delays. So it's good to have a plan, but have a backup plan too, and be flexible. So we're gonna go do Soarin' and then see what happens next. Also, listen, I know the point of rope drop is to get in early and get on the rides, but how lucky am I to be walking past the beautiful flower beds at EPCOT right now? Not a lot of people around. The topiaries are amazing. This is why this is my favorite festival. There's something special about early morning in the park, so soak that in too. Cabin's like 8:52. I've decided to go slightly out of my way and just check on Guardians because I'm gonna see if they're letting people in the queue, kind of what the status is. It says it's closed in the app, but once it reopens, there will be a time where it's really fast to get on it, and then it'll get really long because everybody that wanted to ride it this morning will go. So I'm just gonna check it. I feel very confident that Soarin' will not get a long line in the next 5 minutes. Everybody goes to 3 places in the morning here. I'm gonna see if they're even letting people over there, and then we'll go ride Soarin'. Probably. All right, so Guardians still down. Cast members do not have any estimate of when it will be up, but they are letting people join a queue. And the very nice cast member told me that the queue right now is an hour. So even once it reopens, it would be a 60-minute queue, which does not sound like something I'm gonna do. And honestly, I wouldn't recommend you do either. Don't go wait there for however long it's gonna take to open the attraction to then wait another hour to ride the attraction. At this point, I would have hopefully had a lightning lane, or I saw that some came back in the app. They weren't available this morning, but they were available when I was walking through the Frozen queue. I saw that I could have purchased one for 9:45 a.m. So Guardians is one that will sell out prior to non-resort guests being able to buy it, but it often comes back. So personally, I think that's worth it as opposed to wait. At this point, you'd be wasting all of your early park entry and rope drop time and then some for this ride. So to me, personally, I would rather, if I had to choose between multi-pass in this park and fancy ride in this park, I would pick fancy ride, and then I would be doing what I'm doing now to knock out the other popular attractions. Because we're gonna have done 2 of the tier 1 attractions within this 30 minutes, and then I would either skip Remy's if it wasn't important to me, or we could be going to Remy's right now instead of Soarin', which again had a posted 45-minute wait, which isn't super short, but it's also not that long for what Remy's will get to very shortly after the park opens. Remy also tends to drop in the evening, so you could also go at night if you want to ride Remy's. Soarin' around the world is the most luxuriating, relaxing ride maybe anywhere. It has a 40-inch height requirement, and it takes you on a hand glider as you soar over world icons such as the Eiffel Tower, Taj Mahal, pyramids, and savannas of Africa. Had a posted 15-minute wait when I got in line, and this attraction is interesting because they move you in big chunks. So I'm stopped right now, but they're gonna move a big chunk of people and then so on and so forth. So it's not a steady move, it's just big chunks because of how the theater seating works. I will say, not that 15 minutes is long at all, but I do think that Guardians being down is increasing the waits at the other most popular rides around the park, which again are Remy's Ratatouille Adventure, Frozen Ever After, Soarin' Around the World, maybe even Spaceship Earth a little bit, because if one of the rides that everybody was going to go to is closed, well, those people got to go somewhere. That said, there's a big group of people outside, so maybe not too much, but just a thought. What a great day. They asked for a party of 1, and it's me, and I got B1, which, if you know, that's the best row on Soarin'. Soarin', check. Just the most lovely and pleasant of attractions. Took about 11 minutes to get into the ride, less to get into the pre-show, and now it's a 45-minute wait. So that was perfect timing on our part. It is about 9:25 now, which means the park is open to all guests, and you're seeing the wait times reflect that. Speaking of which, let's do a little wait time check as we are en route to our next destination. Frozen Ever After, 50 minutes, no lightning lanes. Guardians, closed, no lightning lanes. Figment, 5. Living with the Land, 5. Mission Space, 15. Remy, 50, no lightning lanes. Seas, 5. Soarin' Around the World, 45. Spaceship Earth, 5. So it's a big swing between the popular attractions and the attractions that don't get long lines, which is kind of how this park is and why this park is kind of interesting to navigate. Unlike Hollywood Studios, which has just like all bangers, this park has a couple bangers and then a lot of great filler rides. I will note that while I was waiting to board Soarin', I was fiddle-faddling around in the app, and I saw times come back for both Frozen and Remy. Now, I'm going to take my own advice from the Hollywood Studios rope drop video, which is to do things in the morning that do not have lightning lane, because the wait times will be low. Primarily characters. There's a lot of really fun characters that come to EPCOT, and a lot of them get very long lines. And early morning's a good time to check them out. So you could go meet on an Elsa over in Norway. Figment comes out at 9. He's very popular. Moana has a first set at 9:30. She comes out by Journey of Water. She's very popular. Belle comes out at 9:30 in France. She's very popular. I am in line, however, for the Communicore Hall meet and greet, which is 3 characters. Only is a 10-minute wait right now. No lightning lane. So this is a great way to use the morning and check that off early, because this bad boy will get up to a 30, 45 plus minute wait. So if characters are important to you, I recommend seeing who's out in the morning and potentially considering doing some of those things once the park opens up. Now, as a friendly reminder, to find out where the characters are and what times they're coming out in the app, you're gonna go to hit this little navigator thing down at the bottom and then slide over to characters. I like to filter it by what park I'm in. And then click show list, and it'll list out every character that's coming to the park today. And if you click through, you can see Figment started at 9. You can see that Moana's next set is at 9. She had a set that started at 9:30, so make sure you look down here. And let's see who else. Belle, 9:45, so that is a helper right there. Now, I also want to talk about what I mentioned earlier, which was if you are using Lightning Lane Multipass in this park, it is a good idea to have your first one booked within the first hour of this park being opened. So potentially you get one of the bigger attractions like Remy's or Frozen early in the morning, but if not, it's a lot easier to get something like Spaceship Earth or the Seas or Living with the Land or something early. Try and book one of those within the 9 o'clock hour so that you're tapping in and riding that as soon as possible. Because don't forget, as soon as you tap into your first multipass attraction, it doesn't matter what it is, it unlocks the ability to book more Tier 1 attractions, which means when you tap in and you're able to book your next one, you can pick another Tier 1 attraction. It also allows you to modify anything you currently have into a Tier 1 attraction, and it unlocks park hopping, including Tier 1s at the other parks. So let's say I walk to the park and I've got Remy's, Spaceship Earth, and the Seas with Nemo and Friends. If I ride the Seas with Nemo and Friends at 9:15, I can then modify Spaceship Earth into another Tier 1 at this park, so I could modify it into Soarin' or Frozen if I wanted to ride either of those again, or I could modify it to another park if I was going to park hop to Studios or Magic Kingdom or somewhere else later. So if you are using Multipass at this park, I do recommend having one booked early so that you can start snagging more good attractions because of how this park works, again, with a few very, very popular attractions and then a bunch of filler rides. And now the same piece of advice for 2 different reasons. A lot of the things start moving when the park officially opens at 9 a.m. Things become a lot more fluid because the attractions are opening. Attractions are figuring out if they can offer more lightning lanes. People are moving things, canceling things. So, 1, if you're not able to book something within the 9 o'clock hour, try moving it to the 9 o'clock hour once the park actually opens. And 2, if you've already tapped into that first one and you're trying to book that next Tier 1 or modify into a Tier 1 and you don't see it immediately, don't get discouraged. Keep checking because, again, I have seen both Frozen and Remy's come back multiple times since the park opened 30 minutes ago. Hi, Mickey. How are you? It's so good to see you. Thank you. Having a nice time at your park today. What ride should I go on? Oh, Spaceship Earth. I haven't done that one yet. That's a favorite of mine. I'll have to do that. And Figment. You like Figment? We'll have to do that one too. Thanks, Mickey. Hi, Goofy. How are you? It's a pleasure to see you. How have you been? Pretty good. Yeah. Oh, you went fishing. Did you bring Max? Did you catch anything? One fish. A big fish? I am so proud of you. Have you gone fishing at the seas? I don't think you're allowed to go fishing there. You might catch a shark. Just one time. Yeah, we won't tell. We won't tell. You look so cute. Now, Minnie, I saw lots of flowers out there. Did you garden? Did you plant any of those? I know, I've seen you garden before. You're very good at it. And you even made a plant that looks like you. And Mickey and everyone. You're so talented. A multi-talented queen. We love that. Okay. Obviously, I came out and the sweet Encanto show's happening. I will say that took a little longer than 10 minutes. It was more like 15 minutes, which is still not long at all to meet 3 characters. And the characters were great. They were taking a nice long time with everyone, really making it worth that wait. Guardians of the Galaxy, unfortunately, still down. Additionally, it's now about 10 o'clock, which means rope drop is over. It's been an hour and a half since resort guests could be in the park, an hour since all guests could be in the park. So the benefit of coming in early is done now. If you're arriving now, you missed rope drop. But that just means we get to have breakfast. And of course, by breakfast, I do mean a shaky Jamaican from the Joffrey's cart. This is my favorite cold brew of all time. You can get it at any Joffrey's cart at Disney World. It's not actually called Shaky Jamaican, it's called Shaken Jamaican, but it's delicious. You can add milk or flavor to it if you want to add more flavor, but it's naturally flavored with like vanilla and caramel, so it's delicious. Also, yes, I know technically coffee's not breakfast, if you want to be that way. And there's actually a lot of really good breakfast options in this park, but Alan and I are wrapping up another video and we're going to brunch shortly, so I'm getting ready for that. But some of my favorite things to eat for breakfast in this park. Number one, definitely the best option in my opinion, Les Halles, the bakery in France, opens up with the park, and it's got delicious baked goods, sandwiches, quiche, pastries. My personal favorites include the strawberry tart, the ham and cheese croissant, and the quiche. Also, the Kringle Bakery in Norway opens up with the park, and I'm saying that because not everything at World Showcase opens at 9. A lot of it doesn't open till 11. The Kringle Bakery has some other pastries and delicious sandwiches, so those are good choices, especially if you're headed first thing to Remy's in France or Frozen in Norway. Of course, there's multiple Joffrey's carts around the park where you can get coffee as well as the big donuts. They are from a local spot called Donut King, and while I do not care for donuts, all my friends that enjoy them say those are very, very good. In fact, one of my friends had them at their wedding. They like them so much. So those are big, huge, giant shareable donuts. Also, I just noticed this cart right here across from Connections is selling breakfast sandwiches, which is a good grab-and-go option. They also do breakfast sandwiches at Sunshine Seasons over in the Land Pavilion. And of course, there is Connections Cafe, which is the Starbucks in this park. It's got all of your generic Starbucks breakfast choices, as well as what I had last time we rope dropped, which is the Baumkuchen, which is a special German cake. And cake can be breakfast. Anything's breakfast if you eat it early enough. If you wanted a full service option, Garden Grill in the Land is a really good character breakfast. It's got Mickey, Pluto, and Chip and Dale in cute like farmer outfits. It's a slowly rotating restaurant. You actually get to look down at some of the scenes in Living with the Land. Pretty standard as far as the food goes, but if you wanted to do like a mid-morning breakfast there, that would be a good choice as well. As always, when I recommend character dining, I recommend doing it mid-morning so you can get up, knock out a bunch of stuff, get that rope drop thing going, and then if you go mid-morning, it's more like brunch. You're paying for breakfast prices, but it's a big hearty meal, and then you can just do snacks and quick service the rest of the day, which is what I do a lot with my family. All right, at this point, it's a little bit before 10:30. Let's do one last wait time check. Frozen Ever After, 60 minutes. Guardians is still closed. Figment, 15. Living with the Land, 20. The characters we just did are at 25. 75 at Remy, but Lightning Lanes have come back. 15 at the Seas, 55 at Soarin', 25 at Spaceship Earth. So as you can see, coming at rope drop was very beneficial because at this point, even the attractions that I don't normally get much longer than a 5 or 10 minute wait have a long line because this is when most people are coming into the park. They're jumping in line for attractions. That's why you see the Seas, which is normally a 5-minute wait, at a 15-minute wait. And that's of course why you see popular rides like Soarin', Frozen, and Remy at longer waits. Unfortunately, for this video and for me today, Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind has still not opened, But it's more unfortunate for the guests who have been standing there since 8:30 hoping it would open, because now they've been waiting there for 2 hours, which definitely did not save them any time. I will say this is a little unusual for Guardians. It isn't known for having long downtimes like Test Track was, or like Rise of the Resistance is, or Tiana's Bayou Adventure. There are attractions that just have long downtimes often. Guardians isn't normally one of them, so I do think this is a little unusual, but regardless of the ride, if the cast members are telling you to go do something else, listen to them. They're not going to encourage you to get in line if they think it's not going to reopen for a long time. I do still think if I was doing a full day in the parks, I would still purchase the fancy ride for Guardians, and then I would possibly buy multi-pass if I really wanted to do Frozen and Remy and Soarin' and Test Track was back up. I would probably buy it, and if I could get on those 4 attractions, I would consider it a good use of money. If I only care about 1 or 2 of those attractions, you can easily rope drop them like you saw us do today. For me, my favorite ride at Epcot is eating and drinking in World Showcase, especially when there's a festival. So if I'm coming to this park, I'm gonna try and do all the rides first and then just luxuriate the rest of the day, which I think is a pretty good way to tackle this park. Come in early, rope drop, do the big attractions that you wanna get done, buy Guardians of the Galaxy for sometime around mid-morning, check off everything you want to do, and then spend the rest of the day enjoying World Showcase. If you are buying multi-pass, it can make your day easier, simply because you could book your tier 1 of your choice, either Remy or Frozen, for a little bit later in the afternoon when you think you're going to be in that part of the park, and then you could rope drop the other one so you don't have to worry about booking that, and then book Guardians for sometime in the mid-morning. I do think it's nice that Guardians is a standby queue now and not a virtual queue. I'm not a huge fan of virtual queues because I don't like the fact that you don't have any idea when you're gonna get called back. And if you were like in, Japan having sake and then you get called back, that's a pretty far walk. I much more prefer just going and getting in line whenever I want to go get in line. So I am glad that the virtual queue's gone. I've been watching the waits, and most of the time it's around an hour, maybe 70 minutes, which is pretty standard for an attraction this popular. But even with Guardians, throwing a little wrench into the plans, hopefully this video was still fun. We actually did what I think is the better rope drop plan for this park, even though I did intend to show what it would be like to rope drop Guardians, because I know people were curious about that. So hopefully, again, this was still helpful. And as always, I don't think you have to rope drop to have a wonderful day in the parks. There are people that are going to say it's the only way to have a successful day in the parks. And yes, of course, logically, if you are in the parks more, you're going to get more things done. And yes, you are going to spend time waiting outside the park, but it's not during valuable park time. However, not everybody wants to get up when it's still dark outside on their vacation. I'm one of those people. I am not a morning person, so don't feel like you have to in order to have a great day. It's all about what you prioritize. If you're okay booking lightning lanes and sleeping in a little bit, having breakfast somewhere, you can come into the park later. There's going to be lower wait times at a lot of this stuff at the front of the park, and then you've got the other popular attractions locked in. Especially if you don't care about all of the tier 1 attractions of this park. If you don't care about Remy's and Frozen and Test Track when it reopens and Soarin', it's a lot easier. But if you do care about all those things, you can still get them done without rope dropping. You may just have to wait in a longer line or two, or you may just want to commit to buying multi-pass and spending some time fiddle-faddling. So what I'm trying to say is rope drop is great. Clearly it's an effective way. In about an hour and a half, we got through 2 of the most popular rides in the park and met 3 characters. So yes, clearly rope drop is very effective. I'm just saying, if this doesn't look like fun for you on your vacation, there are other ways to have a successful day too. But the rope drop series is not done. We still need to rope drop over at Magic Kingdom again, especially since Tiana's Bayou Adventure is no longer on virtual queue, as well as Animal Kingdom. We recently did Hollywood Studios, so go check that video out. If you want me to do Universal, let me know that as well. And don't worry, fellow Night Gremlins, I will be doing an afternoon evening series in the parks, which definitely look a little bit different now that Genie Plus and stacking are gone. In the meantime, friends, make sure to rate, review, subscribe, follow us on social, come hang out with the Mam Fam in Discord, join our Patreon for behind-the-scenes content and more. And until next time, I'm Molly, and it has been so magical. Bye. I really hope Guardians comes up. Not for me, but for all the people who do not come here as often, because it really is a tremendous attraction. So, fingers crossed.